Hi, friends. I want to read you a little something real quick, okay? Okay. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's our greatest measure of courage. Writing. It's been on my mind a lot lately. I never considered myself to be a good writer. I always liked to write, but it wasn't something that I ever considered myself good at. In more recent times, the last few months more than ever, I've gotten numerous messages and emails saying how good I am with words, and I just can't seem to figure out why these people thought my writing was good. But I think I finally figured it out. Someone told me once, you're good with words because you write how you talk, and that is what creates such emotion. That really stuck with me. That was something else that I always struggled with, emotion. Now don't get me wrong, I have a lot of emotion, but when it comes to actually speaking with emotion, singing with emotion, acting with emotion, I always found myself having a hard time with it. And I think it's because whatever it was I was talking about, singing about, acting about, etc., I never felt passion behind the subject line. And now all of a sudden I do, and I have this weird need for blogging all the time. And the more that I do it, the more that people seem to respond. Then it got me thinking, why? Why do people want to know about my day? Why do people have such a want and a need to see who Megan is? And why do people want to see this real, raw, and open Megan? And then it occurred to me that it's because I do truly write like I speak. And when I speak, it's real. It's raw. It's honest. I speak about things that aren't usually talked about. I speak about things that people have a hard time understanding unless they too suffer from it. My blogs aren't just what I ate for breakfast or what I wore to the grocery store today. They're very much about deep topics that can somewhat be taboo in most of society. Someone recently wrote to me and told me it's outstanding that you can open yourself up like you do and have that vulnerability that everybody seems to crave. And it took me a while to respond to her statement because I wasn't really sure how. But in truth, that's reality. I don't know how to be anything but real. I don't know how not to be honest. I don't know how to not speak on issues like this when I know that people need to hear them. And that's my saving grace. That's when suddenly it all came full circle, where I now know my purpose in my writing, my vlogging, whatever. I now understand why people think I'm good at writing, and I now understand why they feel such emotion behind my words, because there is a lot of truth behind it all. Sometimes the words that I have to say are words people wish they could have heard or seen decades ago. But let's be honest, even 10 years ago, you couldn't really go to YouTube and search how to move on from a divorce or how to find happiness, okay? I truly think this day and age, we're at the peak of a digital world, and people are making an income via social media marketing, influencers via YouTube, Instagram, vlogging on YouTube about what diets they're on, etc. Okay? I, for one, have never been out to make millions on this platform. I don't even think it's worth a dime, honestly. I just want my content into the hands of people who need it. And that's the same with my book. I just want to get that content into your hands because you are the people who need it. I think being vulnerable is a huge part of that. I truly believe that. I truly think that. I think that being vulnerable is a big part of social media these days and why people latch onto certain people rather than others. I think that you have to be open enough to let people in, and you have to be open enough to let people know that they're not alone. You have to be open-minded enough to hear that criticism that follows, and let me tell you, that's a hard one to combat. If there's one thing that I appreciate in someone, it's rawness. It's the ability for someone to be so raw and so true to themselves, and that's something that not a lot of people can say and do. Not this day and age. The world is so guarded with so many walls, so many past wounds that they don't want reopened, but I'm here to show you that being true to yourself is okay. And I think that I truly think that that's why people have latched onto people like myself. And that's the movement that I've started. Even if for no other reason than to just feel safe, in a safe platform where they too can be vulnerable, they too can open up, and they too can be so open and true to themselves like they haven't had and done before. I think a big turning point for me was to see myself open up and be true to myself, because that's something I've never been able to do. I've always been able to try to face my demons, but I've always hid them. Being able to be open about that is so different. I was always someone who hid them. I was always someone who sheltered them far deeper than most so that I wouldn't have to face them. But when I started being true to myself, everybody noticed. People respond to authenticity, and that's exactly what I try to bring to the table. I'm not out to change anybody's mind. I'm not out to give you some psychosis that your doctor talked to you about 10 years ago. I'm not here to judge, and I'm not here to complain. I'm here to tell you what happened to me. I'm here to tell you my story. I'm here to share the tears that I shed the last decade or more of my life in hopes that it helps just one person out there. And if it does, then I've fulfilled my life's purpose. People tend to get on social media advertising brands that they know nothing about, making money off of some bullshit product just to pay their bills, post their fabulous photos of their not so fabulous life. But in my mind, they're doing it all wrong. You create a credible brand by staying true to yourself. And that's exactly what I do, and that's exactly what I'll continue to do. So cheers to us individuals who know they're messed up. Cheers to that baggage, which, let's be all honest, it's overweight luggage at this point, because that got you where you are today. Believe it or not. And I'm here to help all of you just by posting a few paragraphs in a social media or on a social media page or on a blog. Thank you for allowing me to be real. Thank you for allowing me to be me. And thank you for giving me a safe haven to feel so at home with all of you. I read that to you guys because that's a chapter in my book. If you want to purchase that book, help a sister out and go to my website, meganbesler.com. It's in the caption of this video. Everybody asks, what's your book about? Why should I read it? If that at all spoke to you in a way, that's why you need to read this book.